Hidan is an S-class or pursuit ninja who betrayed Yugakure and joined Akatsuki. There, he was paired with Kakuzu, even though the two of them dislike each other. He was also the newest member of Akatsuki when he first appeared. Kisame Hoshigaki mocked Hidan and Kakuzu as combo zombie. Background: after Yugakure deteriorated and changed from a shinobi village to a tourist village, Hidan became angry with the bad things there. He believed that the shinobi who lived there were meant to be killed and massacred by the neighboring country before leaving Yugakure, and joined a kind of sect known as Jashin, a religion that worships the god of the same name. The mainstream of this school seems like blatant slaughter, where anything less than total destruction is considered a sin. Through experiments with Jashin's secret, Hidan was granted immortality. Finally, he joined Akatsuki after seeing Kakuzu, a man whom he considered a pioneer in immortality. In the anime, Hidan and Kakuzu met with Sasori and Deidara to discuss the new mission assigned by Akatsuki. After Kakuzu said they had a choice between a money-making mission and a war mission, he chose the money mission after Sasori and Deidara showed no interest, more so to annoy Hidan. Then both of them were sent to catch the Jinchuriki, Fu, who is eager to befriend Kakuzu despite knowing the history of the traitor ninja, confuses Hidan with his carefree nature. Personality: Hidan is a foul-mouthed and impolite individual. He often uses profanity and complains to allies and opponents, even though he is a very religious person. She seldom respects people when she speaks, usually in the form of sarcasm, like when she called Deidara-chan. He is the only member of the Akatsuki who does not respect their leader, Pain, and has publicly expressed a willingness to kill him in front of the others. The only thing he seemed to respect was his god. He even used it in his insults. He insulted his partner Kakuzu for his habit of blasphemy and love of money, and Kakuzu often insulted Hidan for his beliefs and fighting style. However, whenever Hidan had the urge to kill, the two of them worked well together during battle. Once he seemed to care about his comrades, seeing from his panicked reaction when he nearly killed Kakuzu while under the influence of the technique Shikamaru. Hidan had absolutely no moral boundaries about the people he killed. He considered slaughter a religious calling and enjoyed making the deaths of his opponents as painful as possible. He firmly believed that shinobi were meant to kill and have violent fun, finding his village's decline in peace and disarmament annoying, that he massacred his neighbors before defecting. Hidan is a sadist and likes to torture his opponent. The talisman around his neck is a symbol of Jashin, and he usually prays to his gods before fighting to ask for a good murder or, if applicable, forgiveness. Given his voodoo requirements such as curse rituals, he is willing to hurt and injure himself, and shows his masochistic side while he enjoys sharing the pain with his curse victims. However, he reacted normally, not in pain, when injured by others or when the opponent did not hurt him. Hidan's behavior in the anime seems crazy. He often screams loudly when attacking and laughs madly when he is about to kill Asuma Sarutobi. Hidan also looks vengeful with his enemies, almost everyone, even commenting to Shikamaru, "Nara, I've been waiting for this ceremony to kill Shikamaru." However, his immortality had made him arrogant and often fought enemies without regard to strategy, to get their blood. Despite being ridiculed for her stupidity by Kakuzu and Shikamaru, becoming evidently inferior in their cunning tactics, and even admitting that she wasn't very smart, she could analyze the nature and limitations of the copycat technique Shikamaru's shadow, and fought because of it, though he was arrogant even in that situation. Interestingly, she looked panicked as Shikamaru took over her body, yelling at Kakuzu to do something in a slightly anxious voice. He did not really like Kakuzu to help in his fight and only asked for help and when he decided he needed it. Kakuzu tends to return the favor by arriving late, and allowing Hidan to be injured, even though he is still alive, as punishment for underestimating his opponents. After reattaching her head, she showed great hatred for Asuma. In the anime, after being revived, Hidan stated that being controlled by Kabuto Yakushi was the worst. Appearance: Hidan has not too long slicked back gray hair and distinctive purple eyes. He was wearing an open Akatsuki robe with no clothes, only pants. Yugakure forehead protector around her neck and Jashin's talisman. He also uses dark green nail polish and an orange Akatsuki ring on his left index finger, which reads the kanji for 3. When not fighting, he is always seen with the 3-blade sickle on his back. After his fight with Asuma, Hidan lost part of his left ear and Kakuzu sewn up his neck after he was beheaded. In the Shikara arc, at the time of being controlled by Edo Tensei, Hidan initially wore no clothes, but later wore a black robe with a red lining, similar to those worn by Kabuto and other reincarnated Akatsuki members. Her true purple eye color became dark gray eyes with white sclera, like snake iris. When Kabuto uses the talisman to take complete control of Hidan, his eyes instead have black and white sclera, and iris pupils lacking. Ability: Hidan is an S-level ninja and a runaway ninja with sufficient skill to be accepted into Akatsuki. Together with his partner Kakuzu, he was able to catch the two-tailed Jinchuriki, Yujito Nii, even though Yujito had turned into a two-tailed tail. Hidan was also able to defeat Asuma Sarutobi, one of Konoha's best jonin, using his unique abilities. Immortality: as a result of experimenting with Jashin's various belief techniques, Hidan acquired the immortality ability from almost any cause, with the exception of nutritional deficiencies. Immortality caused him to endure many fatal wounds and was almost cut into pieces. He was still able to speak even after his head was cut off. However, his head had to be connected to his body in order for him to control it, which required Kakuzu to reattach him and the rest of his body if necessary. Even Shikamaru's attempts to blow Hidan into pieces using hundreds of explosive papers stuck to his entire body, only succeeded in decapitating his head and damaging his body. After weakening the tendons, Kakuzu used to plug his head. Although he could survive many physical attacks, even from those that stabbed him, he could still feel pain, as he reveled in the pain of his opponent's pain. His inability to die was the main reason Hidan was paired with Kakuzu. Since Kakuzu couldn't kill him, Kakuzu didn't need to find a new partner after venting his anger. Although the two of them hate working together, this advantage makes them a good team. His immortality was exploited by Kakuzu, so that his destructive technique could be used to its fullest without fear of harming Hidan, as shown in a combination involving Hidan distracting the opponent with a cruel, temporary heart attack. Kakuzu uses wind release, pressure damage on the target. Besides that, Hidan also has great healing abilities. An example is how he recovered from the many physical wounds suffered during his battle with Asuma and Shikamaru. Just a moment after the battle, he had completely healed from the wounds and damage he took as his ribs were crushed by two kunai blades, pierced his leg, pierced by Shikamaru's shadow, pierced his chest with his pulling spear, his scythe pierced his stomach and pierced his back, his neck was cut then reattached. Even his burns, caused by Asuma's fire style, healed in just a few days. Using his weapon, Hidan makes an attempt to get his opponent's blood, where after he licks his opponent's blood he creates a Jashin symbol on the ground. This process somehow made his body and his opponent seem connected. Hidan's appearance that of a Grim Reaper, with black and white skin marks like bones. In this state, he is basically a living voodoo doll for his opponent. Any damage done to him as well as his opponents is referred to as his curse, and he likes to play with his victims by inflicting damageless fatal spear wounds were drawn, while taking obvious pleasure in their common suffering. After he is done playing with an opponent, or if he wants to kill them quickly, he stabs himself through the heart of killing his opponent in the process, and then enjoys intense satisfaction.